Welcome back. Today, we explore the value of these most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins that are sold for thousands of dollars. Let's get started. First up, the 1981 Washington quarter dollars with a large date and D mint mark, especially when found in very fine condition. Let's dive into its fascinating history, standout features, and current market value in dollars. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, has been a symbol of American heritage for decades. By 1981, this iconic design had already been a staple of US currency for nearly 50 years. Yet, despite its wide circulation, certain coins from that year, like the large date variety with the D mint mark, hold a special allure for collectors. So, what sets the large date apart? The large date variety is characterized by its bold, prominent numerals, making it distinct from its small date counterpart. Combine this with the Denver Mint signature D mark, and you've got a coin that stands out in the numismatic world, especially in very fine condition. Coins in very fine condition strike a balance between circulated and pristine. For the 1981 D Washington quarter, this means some wear is visible, but key design details like Washington's hair and the eagle on the reverse are still sharp and easily recognizable. Collectors value this condition because it shows the coin's history while retaining much of its original craftsmanship. Now, let's talk numbers. In today's auction market, the value of a 1981 Washington quarter with a D mint mark in very fine condition typically ranges from $50 to $80. However, for coins with exceptional luster or provenance, prices can reach upwards of $100 or more, depending on collector demand and the specific auction. While the 1981 D Washington quarter isn't considered rare, finding one in very fine condition can still be a challenge, especially with the large date variety. Collectors love these coins for their subtle uniqueness. Stumbled upon a 1981 D quarter in my late grandfather's collection. Its very fine condition and large date made it an exciting addition to my collection, and its value was a pleasant surprise. Online platforms have made it easier than ever to buy and sell collectible coins. Auctions for the 1981 D Washington quarter often attract both seasoned collectors and beginners eager to snag a piece of numismatic history. If you're lucky enough to own a 1981 Washington quarter with D mint mark in very fine condition, it's worth taking a closer look at its details. Even a seemingly common coin can hold significant value when it has the right attributes, and the demand for these coins continues to grow. Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark. This coin, in good condition, is one that often surprises collectors with its value in today's market. You might not expect much from a coin from the 1960s, but as we'll see, this quarter is more valuable than you might think. First, let's take a step back. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1967, the coin had become a staple of American currency, with millions of quarters being minted each year. But not every quarter is created equal. The absence of a mint mark on the 1967 Washington quarter makes it an interesting piece for numismatists to examine. Normally, the US Mint marks its coins with a letter indicating where they were minted. Philadelphia, for example, produces coins without any mint mark. So, the 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. But how does that affect its value? Let's take a closer look. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to perfect, with several stages in between. A coin in good condition typically shows significant wear, but its design is still identifiable. For the 1967 Washington quarter, a good condition coin might have a fair amount of wear, especially on the eagle's feathers and Washington's hair, but the date and minting details should still be legible. So, how much is this coin worth today in good condition? The 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark generally ranges from $300 to $460 at auction. However, some high-quality examples, or those with a particularly sharp strike, could fetch up to $500 or more depending on the buyer's interest. Although 1967 is not considered a particularly rare year for Washington quarters, the ones without a mint mark still hold value. It's a coin that holds sentimental value for many collectors and can surprise you with its price, especially when you find one in good condition. The 1967 Washington quarter isn't a high roller coin like some of the rarest quarters, but it's one of those coins that has gained attention for its reliability and steady demand. In good condition, it's not just a piece of history, it's a coin that you can still find in your pocket change or through trusted dealers. If you're a collector, this coin is one that's likely to show up in your hunts. It's widely available, but it's important to know its value when you encounter it in your collection or at a local coin shop. To wrap it up, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in good condition, is a perfect example of how even more common coins can carry value. Whether you're just starting your collection or looking to round out your portfolio, this coin is a fantastic piece to. Next up today, we're diving into a truly unique topic. How much is a 1979 Washington quarter with D-mint mark in dirty condition worth in today's market? While a coin with visible dirt might seem like it's on the lower end of the value spec, you'd be surprised by how much collectors are willing to pay for it. Stick around as we uncover the story behind this coin and its surprising market value. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, but it was in 1979 when a particular set of circumstances made these coins particularly interesting to collectors. By the late 1970s, Washington quarters had seen decades of use, and the U.S. Mint was producing them in massive quantities. The 1979 Washington quarter, with its distinctive D mint mark from the Denver Mint, wasn't considered rare, but collectors began noticing some subtle variations and conditions that could make certain coins more valuable than others. Now, what exactly makes a coin in dirty condition unique? A dirty coin is typically one that has accumulated grime, tarnish, or stains from years of handling, storage, or exposure to the elements. In the case of our 1979 Washington quarter, the dirt adds a layer of mystery to its appearance, but does it diminish its value? Surprisingly, the answer is no, and here's why. While dirt and grime on a coin may initially seem like a deal-breaker for collectors, it's not always the case. Some collectors actually enjoy finding coins with unique characteristics, such as dirt that hasn't been cleaned off. This dirt can be a reminder of the coin's journey, and in some cases, it can add to its allure. But the value ultimately depends on factors like overall wear, rarity, and demand at the time of sale. So, how much is this 1979 Washington quarter worth in today's market? While you might expect a coin in dirty condition to fetch only a few dollars, these quarters can actually sell for anywhere between $400 and $475 at auction. The reason, despite the dirt, there's still a demand for coins from this era, particularly those with the D mint mark. The dirt on the coin doesn't necessarily reduce its intrinsic silver value or its historical significance. In fact, some collectors are drawn to these kinds of coins for their story and authenticity. In certain online auctions, a 1979 Washington quarter in dirty condition with D mint mark has been seen selling for around $600 to $800. Of course, the exact price can fluctuate based on factors like the depth of the dirt, the wear on the coin, and how many bidders are competing for it. Coins like this may not fetch the higher numbers seen with pristine examples, but they still draw attention from collectors looking for something with character. If you're lucky enough to find a 1979 D Washington quarter in dirty condition, don't be quick to dismiss it. These coins can still have value, and with the right collector's interest, they could sell for a bit more than expected. After all, every coin has a story to tell, and sometimes the dirt is just a reminder of the years it's spent circulating and passing through many hands. The dirt itself might not be doing the coin any favors, but it doesn't drastically change the overall value either. What collectors care most about is the coin's rarity, mint mark, and condition. A dirty 1979 D Washington quarter is still a collectible coin. It's just got a bit of history etched into its surface. So, while a dirty 1979 Washington quarter with D mint mark might not break the bank, it certainly holds value in the market. If you're a collector looking for an interesting piece to add to your collection, this coin could be an affordable and intriguing choice. There you have it. Sometimes it's the imperfections in a coin that make it even more valuable. So, the next time you come across a 1979 Washington quarter in dirty condition, take a moment to appreciate its story and the journey it's been. You just might be holding onto a hidden gem if you enjoyed this video. Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in fine condition. You might not think much about a coin from the 1980s, but this particular quarter can surprise you with its value. Stick around as we break down its current worth and why it's drawing more attention in today's market than ever before. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By the time 1980 rolled around, the quarter had become a staple of American currency. The 1980 Washington quarter, like many of its peers from the 1970s and 1980s, saw millions of units produced. But there's something particularly interesting about the 1980 quarter that collectors are beginning to notice. This quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as denoted by the P mint mark. What makes this coin interesting, while the Philadelphia Mint typically produced high numbers of quarters in this era? It's still important to understand the role that coin condition plays in determining its value. The 1980 Washington quarter in fine condition is a perfect example of how a well-preserved coin can still be worth something, even when it's not the rarest in the series. Let's take a quick moment to talk about coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with several levels in between. A coin in fine condition shows moderate wear, but still retains most of its design features. In the case of the 1980 Washington quarter, a fine condition coin might display some light to moderate wear, especially on the Washington portrait and the eagle's feathers. However, the coin's details, like the date and mint mark, are still clearly visible. So, what is a 1980 Washington quarter in fine condition worth in today's market generally? This coin can sell for $190 to $240 at auction. While this might not be a groundbreaking price, it's still a fair amount for a quarter that was once just another piece of pocket change. The coin's value can rise based on factors like its overall demand, the specific auction, and whether buyers are looking for a piece of history from the 1980s. In some cases, high-quality examples of this coin might even fetch upwards of $270, especially if the coin is well preserved and has a particularly sharp strike. Dealers and collectors are always looking for coins that are in better than average condition. So if you happen to have a 1980 Washington quarter in fine condition, you could be holding onto something that could sell for a nice price at your next auction or dealer. But what makes the 1980 Washington quarter so appealing? Despite not being the rarest, well, it's the story of the times and the fact that the coin is over 40 years old. With the rise in popularity of modern numismatics, collectors are increasingly interested in coins from the late 20th century, particularly those with clean designs and those that reflect the nation's history during the 1980s. While coins from the 1980s might not carry the same premium as those from earlier decades, collectors are still interested in them, especially in good condition. The 1980 Washington quarter is part of a broader collection of coins that capture a unique time in American history. And as the years go by, even coins that were once plentiful can become increasingly valued for their age and significance. The 1980 Washington quarter with P mint mark in fine condition is a wonderful example of how coins that are commonly found in circulation can still hold value. Though it may not reach the same heights as rarer quarters, its value remains solid, particularly when you find one in excellent condition. So if you have a 1980 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in your collection, don't just toss it aside. It could be worth a bit more than you expect. And if you come across one in a coin shop or auction, you might just be in luck. Remember, the world of coin collecting is all about discovering value in the most unexpected places. Next up, the 1990 Washington quarter with the PA mint mark in extra fine condition. You may be surprised to learn that this coin, which most of us remember as part of our pocket change, is now garnering attention in the collector's market. But what makes it so special? And how much is it worth today? Stick around and let's explore. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, has undergone various design updates over the years. By the time 1990 rolled around, the coin had settled into its modern design, with Washington's portrait facing left and the eagle perched on the reverse. During this period, millions of these quarters were minted, including those produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which are marked with P and Mint mark. But here's the thing, despite its large production numbers, the 1990 Washington quarter has captured the attention of collectors, especially when found in extra fine condition. When it comes to coin grading, condition is everything. Coins are rated on a scale from poor to mint state, with a number of grades in between. A coin in extra fine condition is one that shows only light signs of wear, preserving most of its fine details. For the 1990 Washington quarter, this means you'll still see clear and sharp features, especially on Washington's profile, the eagle's feathers, and the lettering. Coins like these, with just a bit of wear but still exhibiting great detail, are considered very desirable to collectors. So, what exactly does extra fine mean in layman's terms? Well, for a 1990 Washington quarter, the coin should still retain most of the detail on Washington's face, the eagle on the reverse, and the words E pluribus unum. The coin might show like some light smoothing on the high points of the design, but it should still look great and be easy to identify. Now, let's talk about what a 1990 Washington quarter in extra fine condition is worth today. While most quarters from this era are still fairly common and inexpensive, this particular coin is starting to stand out among collectors. In today's auction market, you can expect to see prices ranging anywhere from $180 to $300 for a well-preserved coin. But why the wide range? It all depends on the coin's specific condition, any minor imperfections, and the auction venue. Of course, there are always exceptions. On rare occasions, an extra fine condition 1990 Washington quarter with the P mint mark might even fetch a little more, especially if it's part of a high-demand collection or a particularly sought-after dealers and collectors value these coins not just for their historical significance, but because they're harder to find in great condition. A 1990 quarter in excellent condition could even sell for up to $700 if you're lucky enough to find the right buyer or venue. You might be wondering why the 1990 Washington quarter after all. There are far rarer coins out there. Well, the 1990 Washington quarter may not be the rarest, but it holds a certain charm. It represents the last decade before the turn of the millennium, a period of change and growth in the US economy. And as the years go by, coins like these will only grow more appealing to collectors interested in specific periods in American history. Collectors are becoming more and more interested in modern numismatics, especially coins like the 1990 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. Although this particular coin isn't considered rare, it holds value because it's part of a larger plus. People are increasingly searching for well-preserved coins from the 1980s and 1990s, making this quarter a solid investment for many collectors. If you happen to have a 1990 Washington quarter in your collection and you're wondering if it's worth something, don't overlook its potential. While it might not be one of the super rare coins out there, a well-maintained 1990 Washington quarter in extra fine condition can still command a respectable price in the market. And who knows, with the growing interest in modern coins, its value could continue to rise as more people start to take notice. In conclusion, the 1990 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in extra fine condition may not be the most famous coin in the series, but it holds its own in the market. If you've got one in your collection, it could be worth a nice chunk of change. And if you're looking to add one to your set, now might be the perfect time to start looking for that extra fine example. Remember, condition is key, and even coins that seem common can still pack a surprising value. Next coin, the 1984 Washington quarter with D mint mark in extra dirty condition. You might be wondering, how on earth could a coin in poor condition have any value? Well, stick around and we'll uncover the truth behind this surprisingly interesting find in today's coin market. At first glance, a quarter like this covered in grime, dirt, and scratches may not seem like a collector's dream. But as many of you know, the world of numismatics can be unpredictable, and sometimes coins that are in less than ideal condition still hold surprising value. Today, we're focusing on the 1984 Washington quarter, which features the familiar profile of George Washington and was minted at the Denver Mint marked with the D Mint mark. This particular coin, while dirty and showing signs of wear, can still fetch a few dollars on the open market. But how much? Let's find out. The 1984 Washington quarter was minted in large numbers, so it's not considered rare by any stretch. In fact, millions of these quarters were produced, and they typically circulate as part of everyday change. However, as with many coins, there are certain conditions and characteristics that can affect their market value. The D Mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver, and it's important to note that mint marks can sometimes impact a coin's worth, even if the coin isn't in pristine condition. Now, you might be thinking, but what about the dirt? Isn't this coin a lost cause? Well, not exactly. While it's tempting to clean a dirty coin to make it look better, cleaning a coin can often reduce its value. That's right, many collectors prefer coins to maintain their original patina, even if that means they are a bit grungy. After all, dirt on a coin doesn't necessarily diminish its historical significance. So, how much is a 1984 Washington quarter with D Mint mark in extra dirty condition worth in today's market? Well, believe it or not, even in a dirty, worn condition, this coin can still be worth around $800 to. It's not a lot, but for a quarter that was minted in large quantities and has seen some wear and tear, it's actually not too bad. In fact, coins in dirty condition often get sold at a lower price, but there are exceptions, especially when it comes to well-known series like the Washington quarters. Collectors can be drawn to these coins for their age, the unique character of their condition, or the potential for finding them in better condition later on. As with any coin, it all depends on the buyer and the market at the time of sale. Some people prefer to buy coins like these dirty because they believe they can clean them carefully themselves, bringing them back to life. Others might simply be interested in adding a 1984 D Washington quarter to their collection, even in dirty condition, because they have sentimental value or are just building a set from that particular year. When it comes to coins like the 1984 Washington quarter in extra dirty condition, collectors know that the coin's true value doesn't just lie in its physical appearance. Some buyers may be more interested in acquiring it for the D Mint mark, or as a part of a larger collection, where the condition matters less than the rarity or the full set. Coins like this can still command a fair price at auctions, but generally, they won't reach the high dollar values of coins in pristine or mint state condition. Even though the 1984 Washington quarter is far from the rarest coin out there, it's still important to recognize that even coins in dirty or worn condition hold value. In the world of coins, condition is king, but certain characteristics like the D Mint mark still matter and can add a bit more appeal for the right collector. So, if you've got an old, dirty quarter from 1984 sitting in your pocket or your collection, don't throw it away just yet. It might not be worth a fortune, but it could still bring in a decent amount if you decide to sell it at auction or to a. You might be surprised by how much dirty coins can go for, especially when there's a niche market for them. In conclusion, while the 1984 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark in extra dirty condition may not fetch top dollar prices, it's still a part of the fascinating world of coin collecting. If you're a collector on a budget, or you just happen to stumble upon one of these in your change jar, you've got a small treasure in your hands. And who knows, with the right buyer, that dirty coin could still bring in a little extra cash. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on future coin tips. Have any of you ever found a coin in poor condition that turned out to be worth more than you thought? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, happy collecting.